What up, TheLuffyTCG? Like, hello, all his fans. I'm honored to be playing this match. But this boy about to whoop my ass. It's unfair. He came out with Zoro in the pre-release. Like, come on.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, that's fine.
I just gotta bust your chops.
I know. I love you.
I gotta feel better about the loss that's inevitable.
No,
I'm
no.
doing the same thing if I play him. I was playing against this deck last night, and it went like XO, and we played like 6-7 games. Like.
So that's my homie Tim right there, and he's like, uh-oh, this isn't gonna be a good matchup. So the night before this, so it was Friday night, we stayed up till like probably 4 in the morning, just playing some matches and going over some things, and yeah, God, I love this guy, absolutely love him. And this turned out to be a really good match too. Doflamingo is usually always one of my worst matchups, no matter what deck I'm playing, just because I feel like I just struggle to keep up with Doflamingo. But luckily, we're playing Zoro today, and we're not playing like Smoker or Luffy that I played in the past that are just a little bit slower. So Zoro just has a little bit of that, you know, faster presence on the board, and being able to a little more easily clear some of those pesky cards that Doflamingo can put out. But yes, this is round 2. We did win round 1. It's kind of interesting that both my first and second matches have been against blue. So first we had starter deck Croc, and now we have Doflamingo. And he did win the dice roll. Tim chooses to go first, and he's just thinking it over. But yeah, we're getting all set up, and you know, Perona, that Perona is just too good. Turn 1 Perona is always nice. But I know that whenever he picked up his cards, I remember him telling me that, you know, the first 5 he got weren't exactly what he was looking for. And you can see he got 9-drop Mihawk, 7-drop Doffy. He got a Sentomaru, a Pacifista, and I believe it was a Dracula Mihawk 2K counter. So not really any of the 7 warlords that you want to see in order to get a good usage out of that. But I'm going to go ahead and play Nami, pick up that Jet Pistol. Jet Pistol is definitely going to come in clutch, just because I know that, you know, in this deck that my man Tim here is running, it's one of those decks that he can just get down a solid amount of 5k power cards that are extremely annoying in the matchup. Now, I definitely was expecting, like, okay, leader ability here, and, you know, then we're going to have something drop down rested, but he actually swapped it up on me, swung 5, and then played Sentomaru. And as much as I don't think Sentomaru is the hugest threat, it can be really annoying if I just leave the card unchecked. So I do choose to Jet Pistol it, because in the last match, if you watch that, my opponent was able to get out, I think it was like 2 Pacifistas using Sentomaru. So definitely had to, you know, get rid of that, so I didn't have too much to deal with on board. But I'll go ahead and counter, and then he chooses to bounce back the Gordon to my hand with Martial Deteach, and plays Law as the blocker. He'll pass it over. I've got 6 Dawn now. You know, we do have Nami, so I'm just going to go ahead and search yet again. And it looks as though I think we top decked the 5-cost Marco, and I just find that 2k counter, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and play Marco down right here. And yeah, I'm just thinking about, you know, should I be playing that first? Should I swing with 5? And I do choose to swing with 5 just in case, because if he blocks, then, oh, this is kind of funny. So he puts down the blocker here off trigger, and now I kind of have a weird decision to make, and I understand, understandably so. A friend of mine actually, shout out to my man Mello, ended up saying that I should have, what was it, KO'd the Boa, simply because if he uses, let's say, Gecko Moria and brings back the, you know, the Law, he can play the law very easily for 1 cost versus the boa, which is 3 cost. But my train of thought was I didn't want him to have counter in hand. I didn't really care about the blocker being played as much, just because I have so much KO potential in this deck for low cost cards like that. But I definitely didn't want him to have more counter, you know, when I'm swinging at some of these rested characters. Now I choose to counter out here pretty aggressively. He swung 5, and then just make sure that, you know, we're not taking that, because I think I had limited counters in hand, and with 3 Dawn active, he does have the potential of just going, you know, like 2 on Doffy, activate, and then use leader ability. And I didn't really want to experience all that, if I'm being honest with you. So I was kind of like, all right, cool, let's go this route. Let's do counter out of the simple 5k swing, and then the 7k I'll just take. But yeah, I think he almost swapped it up on me. He swings 6, and I do choose to take, and then he passes, leaving 2 open. So I'm thinking love beam here, you know, pretty easy. I'm like, okay, love beam for sure. But he's still got 2 blockers on board, so getting through to that teach might prove to be a little difficult. We do have a Vista in hand though, so the Vista, you know, can easily take out the boa, and then I can probably force him to block or use the love beam. But little did I know, he actually doesn't even have love beam in hand. He's got Desert Spada. The unfortunate thing for him though is that Desert Spada does him no good right here, because he already knows what the top 3 are. So I feel like it's a little unfortunate for him, just the circumstances. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and swing 4 at teach. I almost swung with leader, but I didn't want to make that mistake. I just kind of wanted to swing with that, and then get some through with leader, as well as potentially the Nami that I have on board right now. I could also play Gordon, which, you know, lowers some of my opponent's cards in the future turns. I know that he's coming up on that 9-drop turn. He's coming up on potential 7-drop. So I kind of want to get, you know, some of that down. And I see myself swapping that to the front of my deck right here, because that is what I'm thinking, you know. So I'll just go 5 with Nami, and he will use Desert Spada. And that threw me for a loop for a second. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. This is not what I was anticipating, actually. But he reorganizes the cards just a little bit. I'll go ahead and choose 6. He 2k counters out of that, and then the 7 he takes, and I'll play Gordon. Yeah, yet again, just want to have that Gordon down for 7-drop, 8-drop turns. Those are going to be pretty annoying, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really trying to deal with this right now. But I know that he's up to, since he went first, he should be at 7 Dawn. He chooses to go 5 at Nami. Yep, just gonna have to let her go. And here it is, 9 Dawn, not 7. 9-drop Mihawk comes down. My Marco gets sent to the bottom of the deck. And I'm like, okay, it's not the worst thing. We're up in life. We still have Gordon on board, which makes dealing with the Mihawk a little bit easier. But I will just go ahead and rest 9, play down the Newgate, pump myself up to 7. And I realized that I should have swung with my Vista first using leader ability, but so I kind of gave away a little too much information there. But then we go up to 8, and I do swing 8 at life. He's deciding whether he wants to block or take the life, and I know it's kind of a tough decision. Going down to 1 life against Zoro can be definitely pretty scary. But as I said in like previous games, I eventually came to the realization that I need to start putting dice on my leader if I'm playing 9-drop, just simply because I forget often if I am not using that. I'll be like, oh shoot, I am totally fine in this regard, but no, I'm not. I need to have that 2 on there so that I end up remembering it. I forget it all the time. I'll be like, oh, I'm at 5k, and then counter out or something when I'm at 7k. And, you know, as you guys have probably seen through some of those like Treasure Cup matches, My opponents were making that mistake. I was making that mistake. So now I just choose to go with the dice so that I don't forget that, and it's easier to just kind of remember in the moment. But he's definitely got a hard decision to, you know, to mull over here. He does have a blocker on board, which is nice, but it does get KO'd next turn if I use my Gordon. So he has to deal with the Gordon somehow. Looks like he has Perona, 7-drop in hand, and a Desert Spada. So he could go like, he could do something like Perona, you know, make sure that the top 5 is the way he wants it. But he goes to 9 at life. I'll just go ahead and take that. And I think that... Wait, did he swing 5 with leader? Maybe I missed... Did I counter out of that? Oh my god, I might have countered out of that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he's just going to put down that 7-drop. Bounces Gordon back to hand, which yet again isn't really, you know, that big of a deal for me. And I'll just go ahead and resituate my Dawn. We've got 9 to work with. You know, a second Newgate's not really going to do as much justice here. So probably just going to slap down the Gordon, lower the Doflamingo, take care of the 9-drop Mihawk, and then set up for the KO on the following turn. Because he wouldn't be able to KO me with the 2 life having just the 7-drop Doffy as well as lead. And with how many Radical Beams I have in hand, you know, I feel pretty confident that I'll be all right that way. So, oh, interesting. Am I going to swing 7? I'm going to swing 7 first. Oh, I see the idea. So I swing 7 first because I kind of want him to take the life, and then I can just use Gordon and KO the blocker and just go for the win. But, you know, I know Tim's mulling this over, but I'm pretty certain that he's just going to end up blocking this. But he does counter, actually, even better. So, actually, no, not better. No, that was a mistake on his part. That was a misplay because he knows I have the Gordon in hand, and the Gordon KOs the Doflamingo blocker. So he definitely should have blocked right there. And what do we got? We got 8 Dawn left still. I'm just kind of trying to think of like what's the best way to get through this. And yep, it is going to be the Gordon, obviously. Going to bring down the Doflamingo. We're going to attach 2 there. I'll just go ahead and swing. Oh no, we attach 4. I'm trying to be like as safe as possible because he does have 3 Dawn active. Potentially, you know, Love Beam in hand or something like that. And he lets it go. So now I feel pretty good. I'll just go ahead and swing 6 at life. He does Desert Spada yet again. So that's where I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good about the Desert Spada coming out. And you can see in my hand, I think I have like 2 or 3 Radical Beams. But I just leave 1 Dawn up because that's really all I need to protect Newgate. And then with Newgate alive, I should be perfectly fine. And if I'm not mistaken, I do have an Otama in hand as well. So that's for if he puts down... Let's say the 3-drop Doffy blocker again, or another like 5k blocker like Bartholomew Kuma. I can lower it down and still get use out of Whitebeard's ability. But yeah, he's definitely got some choices here. Oh, it looks like we have 5-drop Luffy in hand too, so I'm not gonna care too much about the 3-drop Zoro. I just kind of want Zoro to be kind of like cannon fodder right now. I'd want him to take a swing versus like, you know, actually defending him pretty heavy. Like if he chose to swing 5 with lead, I'd probably counter out, but you know, he is going to go 7 here at the Zoro. I would imagine I'm just going to let this go, but I'm going to let myself see how he plays out this this turn right here. And now I know that he just picked up 3-drop. He has what is it, 4 Dawn remaining. And so now I actually am going to counter out simply because I know for a fact that if I keep him on board, yep, so he's going to swing there for 8 and then play the 3-drop blocker. So I kind of knew that was coming just based off of how much Dawn he had remaining and the fact that he only had, I think, like 3 cards in hand. So we do have the Otama, we have the 5-drop. We're basically like good to go for the KO. and just have to do it appropriately. Otama KO one of the blockers. You know, he uses the second blocker, swing with lead, swing with Zoro, and ultimately put 5-drop down if we need. And I'm not sure what we top decked. I didn't get to see the card, but I think it's kind of irrelevant in this position. You know, it's pretty much just going to be rest 1, play Otama, and then, you know, make my way towards finishing the game out. I also think that if we just pass, like, we're definitely going to get rid of his blockers. Or not pass. If we, let's say we weren't able to get the KO. Yeah, we end up still having, like, Rad Beam in hand. You know, we're still looking very comfortable with the 2 blockers that would be KO'd. And swing 6, he does counter out. I'll swing 6 again. He blocks, and then I'll just put down 5-drop. And there it is. It was a solid match. I always love games against him because they end up being pretty methodical and just trying to figure out, you know, what's the best way of doing stuff. But I think that one turn, I'm not sure if it would have changed much, but the one turn that he didn't block and he chose to counter out instead, knowing that I had the Gordon in hand, I think that might have been a potential losing turn for him. But thank you again, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and you know I'm going to catch you in the next one, all right? Peace.